All right, welcome to our mental health resourcing talk. And again, we are just having this time to present some information, some things to dialogue about, and to help break the stigma of silence with regards to mental health. On these videos, we're just exploring various topics. I have with me Eunice again. Eunice, why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself?
Hi, so my name is Eunice. I am a qualifying registered psychotherapist in the province of Ontario. I have graduated recently from Tyndale University with MDiv in clinical counseling.
Great. And I'm kind of one of the pastors here at the MCBC, and we're just having a dialogue on some various topics of mental health. Again, what we're doing here is we just want to create a space for good communication and talking. None of this is considered medical advice. None of this is considered anything to do in the medical realm. If you need help, we encourage you to get help. You should see your family doctor. If you need to check yourself into an emergency room close by. Here in the Greater Toronto area, one of the places we also advocate for is the CAMH, Center for Addiction for Mental Health. And so if you need some help, we'll put that information there for you. But again, all we're doing is we're just having a talk here to help resource us to be able to break the stigma of silence so that people don't have to suffer alone. Some of this may touch on you personally, some of this may touch on someone you know, and all we want to do is just encourage safe spaces to have healthy dialogue. So today, at this point, we're going to be talking about anxiety. And so anxiety takes on many forms. And one of the things we learned last year during our mental health talk was that anxiety has this image of a spectrum. We all have different things that make us anxious and such, and how to handle it. From your perspective, Eunice, how would you help us understand anxiety? What is anxiety?
Anxiety is just like an internal alarm system. It's how our mental and physical reaction to a perceived threat.
Okay, so how can anxiety be both a positive thing and a negative thing then?
Like because it's an alarm system, so it protects us from danger. It warns us from there's something dangerous happening. It also helps us to keep us focused on the issues. But with having a huge, large amount of anxiety, it will weaken our health system. So we'll start with a lot of like chronic pain or any mental health issues.
So why don't we delve into that a bit? What are some of the negative side effects, I guess, of anxiety? How do they affect us negatively? And what should we be looking out for?
So you would have sleep as one of the most common issues that anxious people experience. You're not able to sleep, or you're not able to remain asleep. You experience nightmares. You experience several wake ups during the night. And you also become very irritable. And you experience excessive nervousness. You feel like you're always in this like danger mode. You're very, very heightened, and you can't control your worry. So these are some symptoms that someone that are experiencing anxiety will see in themselves. There's also intense form. That's what we call panic attack. Panic attack does not last long, but you will experience more severe symptoms like sweating, shaking, rapid heart rate, difficult breathing, dizziness, sense of terror or impending death, chills, hot flashes. There's chest pain as well.
So maybe what are some signs we can look for maybe in people we interact with, whether they're friends or our children or maybe our aging parents? What are some of the various age groups, I guess? We can talk about children, youth, adults, and seniors, I guess. And what are some things to look for maybe that we should be aware
Mm-hmm.
of?
Mm-hmm. Anxiety is actually very common, but it's also uncommon that people are not able to verbalize it. They don't recognize that they are experiencing anxiety. They just don't know what it is, so they can't say it out. So we want to look for in children, they become more clingy, they will cry a lot, they're feeling tense or fidgety, they use the toilet often, they're not eating properly, they're having concentration problem or sleep problem. This is what we'll see in children because they're not able to say that I'm anxious, I'm nervous. So it's more in their behaviors. And for youth, they can probably say a little bit more, but also reflect more in physical symptoms. They will tell you, I feel dizzy, I have headaches, I have unexplained outburst, I feel numbness or tingling in my arms and legs. And for adults and seniors are very similar. They will complain about they find themselves hard to focus. They feel tired, they feel restlessness and excessive worries, and sleep problems and also irritability is what they will experience.
So are there any misconceptions about anxiety that we should be aware of that maybe we should rethink how we see anxiety?
Because anxiety has to deal with, as you mentioned earlier, it's something that we internalize that make us feel this like excessive nervousness. There are many people tell, oh, it's just in your head, or just tell you, oh, you worry too much. That is something that does not really help with someone that experiences anxiety, because sometimes they don't know that they're anxious. And when you tell them it's in their head, they just have to get over it, don't think about it. It's really hard because it's like something that plays in their mind again and again and again that makes them anxious. If someone that experiences panic attacks, it's hard for them to not think about it. So without anything that's more tangible, and just tell them, don't worry, it's just in your head, it's actually really hard for them to do that.
Actually, I would even say I think one of the hard things and maybe even challenging things that a lot of Christians do is they throw a Bible verse at you.
Yeah.
Right. And they say, oh, what is it? Philippians 4, do not be anxious. So you need to just, take the Bible verse for what it is. Right. And I think that actually does more harm than good.
Yeah.
So one of the important things I think that can be always helpful to deal with anxiety is to listen to people. And if someone says to me, I'm anxious, what are some of the ways that I can help them process, or what are some of the listening tools that I should use to help people work through some of their anxieties? How can I help someone who's anxious?
Mm-hmm. Of course, if they're experiencing panic attack, then it's best for you to call for help, or send them to like a emergency department at the local hospitals. But if they're telling you, oh, I'm anxious, there are some things that we call relaxation techniques, which the most common one is the breathing exercise. You can do it with them, and make sure you do it slow. So you're breathing through your nose, hold it for 4 seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth. When you're breathing out through your mouth, do it as if you're breathing through a straw. So do it very slow. Do it like 3 to 5 minutes. It's helped them to relax. If it's really intense for them, they're like, I just can't, I'm too nervous. We can also do what we call grounding techniques. These are to help them to ground in the present moment, to instead of dwelling in their mind, in what caused them anxiety. We can do this mental exercise. Help them to count backwards from 100, or name all the objects they see, or name items in one category. Just pick one, like fruit, and then start naming all the items in that category. These are some of the techniques that you can use when someone tells you, I'm very anxious, or someone you can practice at home too when you feel like, oh, I'm getting anxious, and that whatever that's causing you're thinking of the idea again. Practice these techniques. And one key is do it slow. Don't rush it. Do it slow. And becoming an expert on your condition helps to find out the triggers. What make you anxious? You can keep a log. I feel anxious today, and pay attention to what's happening around you. What do you see? What do you feel? Or what are you thinking? So to identify what creates these anxiety within you helps you either to manage it, to avoid it in the future, or like to prepare yourself for it.
Okay. All right. So, well, this is our quick snapshot on the concept of anxiety. Again, we just want to have this opportunity to give you some insights, some tools, some resourcing, and to just, again, create safe spaces for us to have conversations. So if someone says to you that we're anxious, I'm anxious, maybe you'll have a different approach, or even open yourself to think differently next time someone talks to you. Eunice, is there any closing thing you want to kind of give us on anxiety that we should think about?
The key to anxiety is to slow it down and to distract them from the idea. So if someone approaches you, or you yourself feel like I'm anxious, it's because of the rushing ideas in your mind. Slow it down. That's why it's very important when you do all the techniques, do it slow, and do it slow.
Great. So let's just take it a little slower. Maybe this whole COVID thing can help us slow down just a tad bit more. All right. Well, again, we're going to just post some of these resourcing here for you on our description. And again, if it's something that's helpful to you, or you know someone who could benefit from this, we encourage you to just pass it along. Again, at the end of the day, none of this is really medical advice. This is just us sharing and discussing ideas to help break the stigma of silence so that no one has to suffer alone. So that's our talk on anxiety. We'll see you next time as we delve into our next subject.